Liberalism is an important idea about how people should live together in society. It puts the person, the individual, at the very center of its thoughts. This means that your freedom to think, to speak, and to act is very precious. We believe that each person knows what is best for themselves. You should be able to make your own choices about your life. This freedom is not just for some people, it is for every single person. This idea helps us build a society where everyone can try to be happy and successful in their own way without unfair limits. Another key part of liberalism is the idea of equality. This means everyone should have the same basic opportunities and be treated fairly by the law. It does not mean everyone will be the same or have the same things, but it does mean that your chances in life should not be decided by who your parents are or where you come from. Everyone deserves a fair start. We should all have the same rights and be judged by the same rules. This helps make sure that society is just and that people can achieve things based on their own hard work and talents, not because of special favors or unfair disadvantages. Individual freedom is a powerful thing. It allows people to explore new ideas and to question old ways. When people are free, they can invent amazing things and solve difficult problems. Think about a writer who can share new stories, or a scientist who can make new discoveries. This freedom to think differently is important for progress. If everyone was forced to think the same way, society would not grow or improve. Liberalism understands that new thoughts, even if they seem strange at first, can lead to great benefits for all of us in the long run. We must protect this space for individual thought. Equality helps to make sure that freedom is real for everyone. If some people have many more rights or chances than others, then not everyone is truly free. For example, if only certain people are allowed to get a good education, then others are held back unfairly. Liberalism wants to break down these unfair barriers. It believes that a good society helps all its members to reach their full potential. This means working to ensure fair access to things like education, jobs, and public services. When we strive for equality, we make our society stronger and more vibrant because more people can contribute their unique skills. Civil rights are basic protections that every person should have. These rights ensure that you can live your life with dignity and without unfair interference from the government or others. Some important civil rights include the freedom of speech, which means you can say what you think even if others disagree. Another is the freedom of assembly, which means you can meet with other people peacefully. The right to a fair trial is also a key civil right, ensuring that if you are accused of something, you will be treated justly. These rights are like a shield, protecting our personal freedom from being taken away. Democratic institutions are how we make sure that the government listens to the people. In a democracy, people choose their leaders by voting. This is very important because it means the government gets its power from the citizens. If people are not happy with their leaders, they can choose new ones in the next election. Democratic institutions also include things like a free press, which can report on what the government is doing. This helps to keep leaders accountable. These systems are designed to make sure that the government serves the people and not the other way around, which is a core liberal idea. The connection between civil rights and democracy is very strong. You cannot have a true democracy if people do not have civil rights. For instance, if people are afraid to speak their minds or to gather together, they cannot freely discuss who they want to lead them. Elections would not be fair if some people were prevented from voting or if information was hidden. Civil rights make democracy work properly. They allow for open debate and for different opinions to be heard. This helps us make better decisions as a society and ensures that our choices reflect the will of the people. Consider a country where people can openly criticize the government without fear of punishment. This is an example of freedom of speech in action. In such a place, newspapers can investigate and report on corruption, and citizens can protest peacefully about laws they disagree with. These actions are vital for a healthy democracy. They help to ensure that power is not abused and that the government remains responsive to the needs and concerns of its citizens. Without these civil liberties, the power of the people to choose and influence their government would be greatly weakened, and freedom would be at risk. The rule of law is a very important principle in liberalism. It means that everyone, including the government itself, must follow the law. No one is above the law, no matter how rich or powerful they are. This is crucial for protecting our freedom. If leaders could just ignore the laws or change them whenever they wanted, then our rights would not be safe. The law should be clear, known to everyone, and applied fairly to all people. This creates a stable and predictable society where people can plan their lives and businesses without fear of arbitrary decisions from those in power. When the rule of law is strong, it acts as a guardian of individual liberty. For example, if someone tries to take your property unfairly, the law provides a way for you to seek justice. If the police want to search your home, they must follow legal procedures such as getting a warrant from a judge. These rules are not there to make things difficult. They are there to protect you from unfair actions. The law sets limits on what the government can do to individuals. This ensures that your basic freedoms, like the freedom from arbitrary arrest or detention, are respected by those in authority. Think about what happens in places where the rule of law is weak. In such places, people with power might be able to get away with crimes. Ordinary people might find their rights ignored. Businesses might be afraid to invest if they think their contracts will not be enforced or their property could be taken. This kind of uncertainty makes it hard for a society to prosper. A strong system of laws applied equally to everyone creates trust and security. It allows people to live their lives knowing that there are rules in place to protect them and to resolve disputes fairly. Real-world examples show us how vital the rule of law is. In countries where courts are independent and judges make decisions based on law and evidence, people have more confidence in the justice system. When traffic laws are enforced for everyone, roads are safer for all drivers and pedestrians. When business contracts are upheld by the legal system, it encourages trade and economic activity. These everyday examples demonstrate that the rule of law is not just an abstract idea. It is something that affects our daily lives and helps to ensure that our society is orderly, fair and free. Liberalism generally supports the idea of free markets. A free market is an economic system where people and businesses can buy and sell goods and services with little government control. This means that prices are usually set by supply and demand, rather than by government officials. We believe that individuals are often the best judges of their own economic interests. When people are free to start businesses, compete with each other, and make their own economic choices, it can lead to innovation, efficiency, and more wealth for society as a whole. This allows for greater personal economic freedom. The idea of limited government interference is closely linked to free markets. Liberalism suggests that the government should not try to control every aspect of people's lives or the economy. While the government has important roles like protecting rights and ensuring safety, it should avoid meddling too much in personal or economic decisions. For example, individuals should be free to choose their own careers, and businesses should be free to decide what to produce and how to produce it, as long as they follow basic rules of fairness and safety. Too much government control can stifle creativity and make the economy less dynamic. Consider the example of a small business owner. In a system with limited government interference, she can decide what products to sell, how to price them, and how to run her shop. This freedom allows her to respond to what her customers want and to try new ideas. If she is successful, she creates jobs and provides valuable goods or services. Of course, there need to be some rules like health and safety standards, but excessive regulations can make it very difficult for small businesses to start and grow. Liberalism seeks a balance where the government sets fair rules but then allows individuals and businesses the freedom to operate. In conclusion, liberalism is built on the core beliefs of individual freedom, equality, civil rights, the rule of law, and support for free markets with limited government. These principles are not just old ideas, they are very relevant today. In a world that is always changing, the freedom to think for ourselves, to make our own choices, and to be treated fairly under the law is more important than ever. By upholding these liberal values, we can work towards societies where everyone has the opportunity to live a fulfilling life, contribute their talents, and live in peace and prosperity, respecting the rights and freedoms of others.